Imagine this, that from the very beginning of the world, weapons were never discovered. And have you ever wondered what life would feel like without weapons? Come on, let's not just imagine it. Let's see it together. What would a world without weapons look like? Now I'm going very far back. So far back that there are no humans yet. No living beings at all. There is only fire, rock, pressure, and time. The world, at first, isn't a ready-made home. It's like a piece of dough constantly changing shape, constantly breathing. Volcanoes erupt, continents drift, oceans form. Even the air is trying to settle into its place. Here, I realize something. What we call power is, at first, in nature. Even without weapons, there is power. There is harshness. There is transformation. And the most interesting part is this. Out of all that chaos, a kind of order still forms. The day-night cycle, the seasons, the currents. Everything slowly starts to take its place. So the world tells us something from the start. You don't have to destroy things to build order. Sometimes order is born simply from rules and balance. And that's exactly what we'll do in this series. If humans had never turned power into weapons, could they still have built an order? Look, there's an important distinction. A world without weapons doesn't mean no tools. There will be tools. There will be stone, sticks, wheels, fire. But the culture of those tools will not be built around destroying people from a distance, because that idea would never have been born. I compare it to this. There are some words, right, that in some societies are never used, never spoken, and over time, people don't even feel the need for them. In this world, weapons are like that, something that could be made, but something the culture never produces. And human nature, fear, anger, ambition, they're still there. I'm not turning humans into angels. But one thing changes a lot. It becomes harder for anger to create instant, irreversible consequences. And that gives humanity something priceless: time. And when you have time, what happens? Thinking happens. Intervention happens. Calming down happens. Repair happens. And that changes not just individuals, but the whole society. The world has cooled. The seas have settled. The sky has turned blue. Life has begun. And then one day, humans arrive. At the end of this first episode, I want us to keep one sentence in our pocket. In a world where weapons were never discovered, power doesn't disappear, but power doesn't grow through destruction. Power grows through solidarity, intelligence, order, and trust. And now we move to the real stage. That silence of the first humans around the fire. In the next episode, we'll talk about this. When humans felt fear for the first time, what did they reach for instead of a weapon? Now imagine night. A fire is burning. We're in front of a cave or a simple shelter. There is wind, there is darkness, there is the unknown, and there are humans. When we talk about the first humans, the same scenes always come to mind. Hunting, danger, struggle. In a world without weapons, struggle still exists. But the language of struggle is different. Because here, a human doesn't say, "I saw a threat, so I'll shoot it from far away." that reflex doesn't exist. Instead, other reflexes grow, staying close, moving together, tracking, avoiding, hiding, negotiating. That's why tribal life becomes even more critical. Being strong alone doesn't mean much, because survival isn't one person's job, it's the group's job. And I think the first big change would be this. In a world without weapons, the hero is not a single person. The hero is the community itself. When something happens, everyone has to look out for each other. The one who plans the hunt, the one who protects the fire, the one who watches the children, the one who heals the sick. This division of labor makes humans mature earlier. But what about fights, arguments, anger? Of course they exist. Humans are still humans. But if there are no weapons, it's harder for a fight to grow fast. And in that space, something grows. Mediation. I can picture it. The elders of the tribe, the more experienced ones, the people who say stop. This culture forms early because there is no other choice. If an argument grows, the losers are just two people. The whole tribe loses. In a weaponless world, punishment also works differently. In today's world, punishment often comes through force. Here, punishment often becomes being left alone. If no one hunts with you, you go hungry. If no one builds shelter with you, you freeze. So people learn early. I'm not saying anger is bad, but the one who can't control anger struggles to survive. Reputation becomes very valuable here. The one whose word is trusted becomes strong. The one who breaks their word becomes weak. And one more detail. In a world without weapons, the storyteller becomes very powerful. Because stories carry the rules. They tell you, if you do this, the community survives. Stories that grow trust instead of fear. And humanity grows like this. The hunter-gatherer era lasts longer, becomes more mature. And then one day, something happens. A human looks at the earth and realizes, I'm not just finding and eating this, I can grow it. And in that moment, humanity's fate changes. Because now, we won't keep moving, we'll settle. And when we settle, the word mine will grow. Next episode, agriculture. In a world without weapons, agriculture may be one of the biggest tests, because this time, the danger doesn't come from outside, it comes from inside. Ownership, fear of scarcity, the question of sharing.
Imagine this. In a world where weapons never existed, what does power become? Is it about who's tougher, who can dominate? Or is it about who can produce, who can organize, who can build a future? And this is where agriculture begins. At first, it starts with a simple need: to stop moving so much, to stay in one place, to watch the seasons, to understand the land. Because people realize something important. If you stay with the land can give back. But the land doesn't become fertile just because you want it to. It demands order, tools, work. And here's the biggest difference in this world. Without weapons, it's not easy to take from someone by force. So instead of saying, I'll do it alone, people say something new. We have to do this together. The first farming tools appear. A stone blade, a wooden handle, simple bone needles. They look small, but they change everything. Because those tools don't just break soil, they connect people. One person makes tools. Another digs channels for water. Someone sorts seeds. Someone organizes storage. And agriculture stops being just production. It becomes the community's first shared project. Then the crops come, and a truth becomes impossible to ignore. Growing food isn't only about producing, it's about sharing. When harvest day arrives, everyone looks to the same place, the storehouse. And the question is simple: who gets what? And based on what? In a weaponless world, the answer isn't built on fear. It's built on trust. But let me be clear, fairness doesn't appear by itself. It has to be created. So the community sets a rule, a simple rule, a powerful rule. Not because someone is stronger, but because of effort and need. People receive their share. Children first, elders first, the sick first, then those who worked. And most importantly, seeds are saved for the next season. Because the goal here isn't to consume today. The goal is to secure tomorrow. Over time, the system grows. Storehouses expand. Irrigation channels stretch farther. Crops diversify. And agriculture doesn't only feed people, it feeds peace. Because in a world without weapons, what fuels conflict is fear. And when fear shrinks, people stop seeing each other as threats and start seeing each other as partners. But something else happens in this episode, and this is the real turning point. As order settles in, a new question rises. Who will manage this system? Who will audit it? Who will protect fair distribution? Without weapons, even the word protection means something different. No one can rule by force, but order still doesn't maintain itself. So roles become permanent. Those who manage storage, those who allocate water, those who plan production, those who resolve disputes. First it's a need, then it becomes a rule, then it becomes an institution. And people realize something. Justice survives not only through good intentions, but through systems. And this is where the idea of a state begins to form. Not to draw borders for conquest, but to sustain order. And then trade begins. One village's surplus fills another village's shortage. Roads appear, markets form, measurements become standard. And as communities connect, governance grows with them. A simple storehouse record becomes a tax record one day. A local irrigation plan becomes a regional project. And here's the warm truth beneath it all. While we're talking about agriculture, we're really talking about something deeper. People learning to stop saying me and start saying we. In this weaponless world, peace doesn't fall from the sky. People build it through work, patience, and trust. Every seed placed into the soil is like a promise. We'll succeed together. So as episode 3 ends, remember this. We didn't just discover agriculture. We learned how to plan a future. And now a new era begins. The first steps of states, the rise of larger unions, and maybe empires built in ways we've never imagined. Because if there are no weapons, how does great power rise? That's episode 4, States and Empires. Follow to see how great power rises without weapons at part 4, States and Empires. And now a new era begins. The first steps of states, the rise of larger unions, and maybe empires, built in ways we've never imagined. Because if there are no weapons, how does great power rise? That's episode 4, States and Empires. Sometimes I stop and think, in a world where weapons were never discovered, what would actually hold people together? Because we all know this. Humanity would still be humanity. There would still be joy, ambition, jealousy, selfishness. Only one thing would be missing: the easy option of destroying to get what you want. And strangely, that's the truth. A world without weapons isn't a world without problems. It's a world where the way we solve problems changes. In the earlier episodes, we watched that shift happen step by step. First survival, then learning to live together, then agriculture, planning, patience, sharing. And now, cities grow, populations rise, life gets more complex. And right here, a new need appears. To me, in this world, the state isn't something that frightens people. The state is something that works. Think about it. In a city, not everyone knows each other anymore. Every day the market fills with new faces. You make a deal, and you can't be sure the other person will keep their word tomorrow. People can't live inside that kind of uncertainty, because as uncertainty grows, everyone retreats into their own shell. Trade slows down, production stops, trust disappears. And I feel this very clearly. What makes a city grow isn't only land or walls, it's trust. And the way trust grows isn't through showing power. Trust grows through proof. That's why writing is born. Records are kept. Warehouses are counted. Debts are written down. Contracts are documented. A deal no longer floats away in the air. It stays somewhere. I call this the shield of a weaponless world. The record. Because when there's a record, you can't say, "I never said that." When there's a record, there's a place you can go when something is unfair. When there's a record, you can plan for tomorrow, and then something else happens. The city that builds this system becomes more attractive. Roads are built. Water is brought in. Markets become more orderly. Courts somehow begin to function. And people start thinking, it's easier to build a life here. And the thing we call power slowly changes shape. In a world without weapons, power isn't the ability to intimidate. Power is the ability to make life easier. Now, cities don't just build order inside their own walls. They begin connecting to each other. Trade routes multiply. Measurements become standardized. The same weights, the same lengths, the same calendars. Because when one city says, "This is our system," the other city asks, "Then how do we connect to it?" And this is where the idea of empire is born. But in my story, an empire doesn't begin with conquest. In my story, an empire begins with gravity. Imagine a center. The roads are open. The rules are clear. Agreements hold. News travels fast. Goods don't disappear. People don't disappear. After a while, neighboring cities begin to say, "Let us be part of that network too. Let us connect to that order." So growth doesn't happen by burning things down. It happens by building connections. And I think the biggest difference is hidden right here. With less war, bridges collapse less often. Archives are lost less often. Craftsmen, builders, scholars are interrupted less often. So knowledge accumulates. Experience accumulates. Civilization doesn't have to restart from zero again and again. But I won't pretend competition disappears. It doesn't. It simply stops being about who destroys more and becomes about who builds better. Who is fairer? Who solves problems faster? Who governs better? Who builds better roads, brings better water, creates better order? To me, this is the great race of a weaponless world. The race to build. Because now the challenge isn't only creating order, it's accelerating production inside that order. In the next episode, this race to build turns into industry. Energy, machines, and production networks reshape the rhythm of life. And in a weaponless world, true power, once again, won't be about destruction. It will be about construction. In episode 1, we imagined a beginning. A world where weapons were never discovered, and humanity learned to look for power somewhere else. In episode 2, we saw something important. Humans would still be human. Curious, competitive, sometimes selfish. But the path to solutions would turn into together much earlier. In episode 3, agriculture arrived. Planning, patience, effort, and most of all, the idea of tomorrow. In episode 4, cities and states rose, not through fear, but through records, trust, and systems that actually work, people becoming connected to one another. Now, in episode 5, one more force enters that connection: speed. But in this world, the direction of speed is crystal clear, not to divide humanity, but to bring people closer. What we call industry here isn't just factories, smoke, and machines. Industry is the sudden growth of humanity's ability to do things. Think about it. The same energy, the same intelligence, the same labor, because it doesn't flow into destruction, flows into life. A society stops burning its future and begins lighting it. Roads multiply, not to separate people, but to connect them. Trains accelerate, not to carry war, but to link cities together. Communication speeds up, not to spread threats, but to move knowledge. And technology, right from the beginning, speaks a different language. How do we make human life better? Hospitals grow, not only as buildings, but as hope. Clean water spreads earlier, not only reducing disease, but lifting the weight of life. Vaccines, treatments, safe childbirth become standard faster, because this world never sees people as disposable. Because here, the most valuable thing isn't land, or intimidation, or displays of force. The most valuable thing is the human being. And this is where the meaning of a weaponless world truly lives. Progress doesn't grow under the shadow of fear. It grows in the light of building together. As cities expand, people don't lose one another. They come to understand one another more deeply. Because in this world, growth doesn't mean more walls. It means more bridges. When we arrive in the modern world, the picture becomes even clearer. Power isn't measured by hardness. It's measured by a life that works. Who provides better education? Who builds better healthcare? Who can share more fairly? Who creates more livable cities? And people learn this lesson early. The quality of a society is revealed in the life of its most vulnerable person. That's why technology, the economy, and institutions all face the same direction: to make life better. to strengthen human connection, to build a future that feels safer and more hopeful. And here's what I want to say in the final moment. A weaponless world is not a fairy tale. It's the idea of human energy flowing into the right place. Because when destruction isn't an easy option, humanity returns to its strongest instinct: to build. And I want to end this entire series with one sentence. If weapons had never existed, millions wouldn't have died in wars, in fights, under bombs. No one would be forced to leave their home, torn from their land just to survive. And humanity's greatest power wouldn't be the ability to destroy. It would be the ability to build a better life by staying connected to one another. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and stay with the channel. More documentaries are coming.